Hello everybody, this is Daryl at hudsonscustommachining.com. I've got a motor here, a 16-inch Century Skeletal fan motor that belongs to Matthew, and I've put new bearings front and rear in it, custom made new bearings for it. The bearings were worn pretty bad. The motor would run when power was applied if it was turned upside down, but with the motor standing up in an upright position, the motor would just lock up, and that was due to the worn bearings. So we've replaced both bearings in this motor, front and rear, and I've got a little I saved these for demonstrations. I'm going to be doing a presentation at Fanfare for those of you that may be going to Fanfare in Asheville, North Carolina, this July. I'll be talking about bearings and fits and alignments and different things like that in this presentation, and I'm going to try not to get too long with it, but I've got certain things I want to cover. But this bearing, if you can just about look at it with the naked eye and see how egg-shaped it is, how out around this bearing is. I think as I rotate it around, you can probably see how it's worn. And what we've got is a 3/8 shaft, 3/8, which is 0.375, and that dotted line there is where the bore was perfectly round. It was 375 when the bearing was new, and as this motor has been run over time, the bearing has worn down at the bottom there, and you'll see how it's worn egg-shaped, and there was 20 thousandths wear. If you mic across the bearing this way, it still measured close to 375, maybe 376, but when you mic across it this way, up and down, it mic'd 395. So 20 thousandths worth of wear there at the bottom of that bearing. And this was the front. The rear was bad, but not quite as bad on the rear. But anyway, this motor is all back together, and I've got it hooked up to a variac here, and I'm going to switch the variac on, and you'll see the rotor start to spin, and you'll hear a click as the internal centrifugal start switch opens. All right, you heard the click, and that was that switch opening. So the fan's running very smooth and quietly now. I'll cut power off, and you'll hear as it spins down. It takes a little while because this motor's got a pretty good spin down time, but listen for the click. Okay, there was the switch closing again. And pretty good spin down time on this motor. And with the blade on it, it'll have even a longer spin down time because that blade acts as a flywheel and kind of keeps it going. So anyway, Matthew, there's your motor. It's all back together. I'm going to get it boxed up and get it out to you. And I hope to see a bunch of you guys at Fanfare this year. And for those of you that are new to my videos here, if you'll subscribe to me, I'd appreciate it. And we'll see you guys later. Y'all take care.